Hello and welcome back to the Carnivore Cast YouTube channel. My name is Scott Myslinski and I'm the host of the Carnivore Cast, the podcast all about a meat-based carnivore diet and lifestyle. Today we are talking about organ meats. Do you need to eat liver and organ meats on a carnivore diet? This is a question I get all the time from listeners and followers is, do I need to eat liver and other organs on my carnivore diet? Do I need to be aware of my omega-3 versus omega-6 intake? Do I need to supplement calcium or glycine to make sure I'm getting enough collagen? Do I need to be preparing these organs regularly? How much of these organs do I need to eat? So I'm going to cover all of that in today's video. And before I get started, if you could please like the video, subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and share it with a friend. And please, I'd love to hear from you. So comment down below how you approach eating organ meats on the carnivore diet. Do you include them? Not? How do you prepare them? How do you think about the need to include them? Does everyone need them? So let's dive right into it. So first thing is one of the reasons people believe that they may need organ meats on a carnivore diet is because they have certain nutrients. They have things that they think that just by eating meat or just eating muscle meat and eggs and other animal products that they won't be getting all the vitamins and minerals that they may otherwise need, and that liver and other organ meats can fill those gaps. And it is true that liver is much higher in certain nutrients like vitamin A and copper, for instance, which you may not get and folate in high amounts when you eat only muscle meat. And so liver can complement a lot of the things that are higher in muscle meats, and other organ meats can do that as well. So for instance, beef and muscle meat, ground beef steaks are very high in zinc, whereas liver is very high in copper. And so by having more liver, it's believed to be important to have a strong zinc to copper ratio. And if you're only eating muscle meats, some people might think, oh, my zinc is going to be super high, but my copper is going to be very low. And therefore I need liver to keep that ratio in check. One thing to know about this is that nutritional guidelines and the nutrient recommendations that we have are not very scientific. Many of them are based on the lowest possible level of evidence, which is expert opinion. So at the highest level, there's randomized controlled trials, and then quasi-randomized, and then epidemiological evidence and observation. And the lowest level is expert opinion. And the majority of our nutritional guidelines, not just, eat this many grains and eat this much meat per day, but the guidelines around what nutrients and vitamins we need on a daily basis or are recommended, those are based on very low expert opinion of just a handful of doctors. The next thing to know is that nutrient requirements on a carnivore diet are known to be different versus a standard diet. Low-carb diets, ketogenic diets, carnivore diets, certain nutrients you don't need as much of as if you were on a standard American diet. So vitamin C is a great example. Vitamin C in the body, it competes with the metabolism of carbohydrates. So if you have a lot of sugar, you need more vitamin C in your diet. They share a metabolic pathway, and so it is known that people don't need as much vitamin C on a carnivore or ketogenic diet. And it's ironic that foods that are really high in sugar also come with vitamin C in nature, because you need both together. You need extra vitamin C if you're eating a lot of sugar. So if you think about things like fruits and orange juice, very high in vitamin C, very high in sugar. So nutrient requirements are different on a carnivore diet versus a standard American diet or a carb-rich diet, and we don't know exactly how different they are. So by saying you need a certain amount of vitamin A, we don't know how true that is on a carnivore diet versus a standard American diet. The other thing to know is just beef, muscle meat in general, is very high in nutrients. So already by eating lots of beef, chicken, pork, sometimes fish, maybe if you like it, don't have to, and eggs a day, you're already getting a lot of really highly bioavailable nutrients that are in the form that your body's used to, that it can absorb and put to use, that people who aren't eating as much animal products wouldn't get. The nutrients we get from plants, even plants that are thought to be rich in vitamins and nutrients such as vegetables, are not as bioavailable, so our body can't use them as much. Another interesting point about nutrients and whether we need these from organs and liver is that many of the long-term carnivore veterans, people who have been doing this diet for over 10 years, like Kelly Hogan and Charles Washington and others, don't include organs in their diet at all. And many of them prefer not to and find they feel worse when they include organs. Now, this is, of course, anecdote. It's not as scientific, but we don't have a lot of science on the carnivore diet. And so sometimes it's very helpful to look to these veterans and their experiences. And almost none of them, the long-term carnivore veterans, eat organs. So I think that's an interesting observation. Finally, a lot of people want to know about the sustainability of eating the whole animal. And they feel like if I'm just eating the ribeye, geez, a cow only has so many pounds of ribeye, maybe 10 pounds of ribeye. I don't know the exact number. And I'm not eating any of the rest of the meat. Isn't that a waste? And I can see that perspective. I think from a sustainability perspective, there's something to be said about eating the whole animal and making use of more parts of the animal. And it can also be fun. I personally enjoy experimenting with different organ meats, and I've grown to like them. They require different cooking methods. It can be a little bit of an adventure in the kitchen, making things like a liver pate. Vanessa Spina from Ketogenic Girl has excellent chicken liver pate recipe that's absolutely delicious. You can look that up. And it can be fun finding ways to enjoy some of these different parts of the animal. And then overall, I think it's just an insurance policy to include some of these foods in your diet. I think having a very small, if you're eating 2 to 3 pounds of meat a day, and you decide, on average, I'm going to include 2 ounces of liver a day, or 1 ounce of liver a day, even, on a weekly basis, maybe it's 8 ounces of liver, it's half a pound of liver. That alone is going to could make a huge difference in your diet and your long-term, how well the diet works for you. I don't know. We don't have answers to these questions, but it's an insurance policy. So whether it's including a small amount of liver or taking something like the Optimal Carnivore liver and organ meat complex that that sponsors my show, Carnivore Cast, I think it's a great insurance policy and just an easy way to check the box. But if you absolutely hate organs and you think, I'm getting started on the carnivore diet, there's no way I can make this work because I can't eat liver, forget about that. Just eat the meat you enjoy, eat animal products. On the whole, I don't think organs are essential. You're not going to develop any nutrient deficiencies in the course of a month or 6 months or a year or maybe even several years. Your body has stores of these nutrients. So even if we did need them, you'll be fine. So I'd say when you're getting started, don't worry about organs. Don't worry about liver. That can come later. They're not completely essential. At least we don't have enough evidence to say that they absolutely are. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, if you like this content, please like the video, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on organ meats in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, keep it carnivore.